Hey everybody, it's Mike over here from Growtopia, and I know there's been a long time since I posted a video about growing, and don't think I gave up on it. Don't think I stopped. I just only post videos on if there's anything new to show you guys. Well, it is the 29th of September, and I am still getting gangbusters of harvests of tomato. And as I go out there and I look at these plants and I try to pick the tomatoes off those plants, the one thing comes to mind is, I didn't plant this because there's no tag. Well, next year I am not planting any tomatoes, and I am sticking to my word. You know why? Because I want to see what grows out there on its own. The only thing next year I'll be focusing on is cucumbers and peppers, squashes, and then obviously my brassica family that's going to be out there as well, and also my carrots, and my beets, and my radishes, all my bottom dwellers, and my potatoes, of course. But I went out there just now to do a harvest, and yes, warning, as the shirt says, I may be talking about farming. Sorry. Tomato plants are an annual, but they can almost become a perennial because their seeds fall into the ground. They survive there throughout the winter. The birds poop them out, the squirrels poop them out, the soil, and the wind, and the snow, and the rain, all this crazy mumbo-jumbo stuff. And they magically sink down into the dirt, and then they whoosh. So, next year, definitely not. I learned a lot of stuff this year. I made a lot of mistakes, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching my stupid mistakes from planting stuff way too early in pods, and then realizing I can't put them outside because we had a screwed up winter going into spring, and all of a sudden it was like, ooh, 70, and I put my plants outside and all of them died. Big loss of money. Between the cost of the watering, the cost of the seeds, and the cost of the pods, and the cost of electricity for the heat mats and for the lamps. Big washout. Okay. Look back at my records, I started them later. Start them later, boom, bumper crop. Planted way too much. I got into a point where instead of planting one plant, I planted a row of 5 or a row of 20 because for some reason those seeds weren't taking off. So let me go plant more, let me go plant more, let me go plant more, and all of a sudden I have trays and trays and trays of tomatoes. There's over 104, 105 plants out there. It is utterly insane. They are all surviving somehow or another. Yes, 1 or 2 will die, but it doesn't matter. Each tomato plant is producing almost 50 to 100 pounds worth of tomatoes, and they just keep going and going and going. I got a tomato plant out there. I'm 10 foot. Ha! Funny. I'm 5'9". The rack out there is a little over 8'5", and it's above the rack and coming back down. So that's a big tomato plant. Those are the big mamas, you know, the ones that look like jugs. But yeah, I got so many different things that are out there. So I went out there just now, did a harvest. Here's my bucket. Here's my scale. Let's drop the bucket on the scale. $15.4 pounds, and it doesn't look like it. But also, most of the tomatoes that are in here are also really small. So I'm going to just run down the line of them. You guys can count if you want. I'm not going to count them. You guys can just watch. Grab my tray. Now, the problem is that because there's so many tomato plants out there, it's hard for 2 people to eat them all the time. So I really wish I kind of got myself set up with a food place, and there's an organic place that's in town by me. So if I'm going to have the same amount, I'm going to end up doing is taking a couple samples over there and saying like, hey, you know, this is my bumper crop that I literally can't get to by the time it rots. And all it ends up doing is going into my compost pile. Or like I've been doing out there recently is if I find any tomatoes that have been eaten, I just cut them off the vine and I plop them on the ground. And I'll let magic happen. Mother Nature take over next year. Mother Nature can plant my tomatoes. Or grow my tomatoes, I should say. I'll just water them. We'll see what happens, and that'll be an interesting experiment. It's fun, it's exciting, it's stressful, it's crazy, it's a full-time job. I get home from work, and I just went out there and just picked almost more than a half a bucket load of tomatoes and cucumbers. Oh, and keeping track of everything, and I got stuff growing in the bedroom, I got stuff growing in the greenhouses, and I still haven't built a monster house yet. And the reason why is I still am not confident in the spot that I was planning on putting it, after I took out the carport because of two reasons. One, there's trees over there I'm not too fond of if they fall on it. And the second of all is not enough light. So I'm thinking is what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the greenhouse on the back burner and see if I could try to get those trees cut down or do something, because the last thing I want to do is put up this expensive greenhouse and then we have Hurricane Joe Mama come by and one branch lands on this plastic top greenhouse and demolishes it, and I'm just, you know, back to just throwing money into the air. So this weekend or next few days I'm going to bring the greenhouse parts back inside my garage, stick them in my garage off to the side so they can collect dust and the spiders can live in them. And until I either get rid of those trees or find a different spot on my property that I want to put it, then I'll assemble it. Or I'll have my friend, one of my handyman, come by and help me. Yes, I have a handyman. Should show faces. So anyway, this is a cool tomato here. This is, and yes, this is what it's called. It is a black semen tomato. It's a mix of red, orange, yellow, green. Never had it in my life before, but the color on it is really cool. It's like a kaleidoscope of a tomato. Okay, now we got some interesting ones here. So these are yellow pears, not plums. These are pears. Now you can see, remember I always talked about the plums? So it's got like a pear shape to it. So those are pears. This is a yellow pear that's taken on a shape of its own. We have our Super Sweet 100s. Super Sweet 100s, they grow like this. One's missing because I got a little hungry out there. So usually you have 2, 4, 6, 8. You have 8 of them, and they'll sprout. So you'll have a single stem coming up like this, and you'll have boop, you know, just go boop, 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 boop all the way up. They look like ladders going up, and they grow. You know, they're crazy as well. Now this is what's, sometimes they call them cat eyes. I call them butt cheeks because depending on which way you look at it, it kind of looks like a butt cheek. To me, it does not look like a cat eye, but it's because of the hole that's in the bottom of it. Is where they get the cat eye from. But I guess most people look at tomatoes differently than I do. It just looks like a butt cheek. Actually, it looks like a butt cheek with a, this might be a male tomato. There's a long stem coming out of the middle between them. But nevertheless, what happens is, and this is really cool, you can see how interesting nature really is. So what happened was two tomatoes were growing, okay? So there are two tomatoes that were growing. In the early stages of their formation, they could be a little sticky. And because there were two tomatoes that were pushed like this together, because of no spacing, this is what happens. And I get a lot of this out here in Growtopia because, well, as you've seen, my plants are all together. This is another green zebra. There's another black semen tomato. We got a green zebra. Now, unfortunately, one of the things we'll start seeing out there a lot is this, the splitting. They're still good as long as there's nothing living inside of them, such as bugs, ants, aphids, etc., etc. Now, for an interesting looking tomato. Now, it looks very similar to the other ones. Thought something was crawling on me, but it's not. And you want to know what it's called? It's called, I have no clue because I didn't plant it, tomato. But it's a tomato plant. Now, it was probably a tomato plant that I planted last year. It kind of looks like a pear, but it also looks like a pepper. Maybe it's a pepper tomato, because I did think I had pepper tomatoes that look like a pepper, but they're a tomato. Because there's another one that goes along with this one, and it's red. In here somewhere. Ah, here it is. So this actually kind of looks like a bean. The bean of tomatoes. But it came off the same plant. Let's see, we got some more Super Sweet 100s. Got some more of my large cherry tomatoes. I'm going to put the big guys together and the small ones together and have absolutely zero counter space. Here's more of my big mamas. As you can tell, they're getting more nipply. And some of them are even getting a little bit bigger than others. These are more than a mouthful, I'm telling you. Got some more large cherries. And here's my yellow plums. So now, if you guys want to take a look at my plums, you can take a look at my pears. You see how the plum on the right side is different than the pear? And those I really like, the yellow plum tomatoes. I like the pears as well, but I like the plums more. And I love the super sweet 100s. So all my yellow plums this year is I'm going to basically make sure that before they get consumed, I'm going to harvest their seeds out of them and collect them. Because for me to buy yellow plum tomatoes, I can't find them because I keep saying they're pears. But I literally showed you the difference between a pear and a plum. Okay. Here's some more large cherries. Here's some more super sweet 100s. I have tons of super sweet 100s in here. Just tons of them. Now, of course, some of them, like this one, you can see like there's one green one, one orange one. It's fine. It's going to ripen inside. You know, there's so many grow them together that I was just snipping off the vines instead of doing them individually. You don't have to cut them individually. If you want to cut the vine off, cut the vine off. It's honestly a lot easier harvesting to grab a bunch at one time than grab them individually. And sometimes if you don't have snippers and you're not really sure if they're ready yet, easy trick is you just kind of twist it. See how it's like not really coming off when it's super ripe? See how that just popped right off? That's ready to go. Juicy. Alright. More large cherries. Another one with a split, but it's still good to eat. Over here we have more of our yellow plums, also with our white tomatoes. Now that you can see they're really white compared to the yellows. More large cherries. More big mamas. Another big mama. Another big mama. Big mama of a big mama. This is a big mama. It's got a big nipple on this tomato, I'll tell you. This one's got even a bigger nipple. That one's really poke your eye out. Another one, very nipply. It must be cold out there because these tomatoes are getting more and more nipply as they get closer to the bottom of the bucket. And here's another one. It's a small one. This one hasn't really formed a nipple yet on it, but it'll get there. May not be a shower, but it's definitely a grower. Oh man, I cracked myself up. More large cherry tomatoes, a plum, some more super sweet 100s. It's great growing all this stuff, especially the small tomatoes versus the big ones. The big ones can almost be a meal by themselves. So for tonight for dinner, I'm going to go through I'm going to forget what I'm going to say is my next line. I'm going to go through my other crop. Remember that large cucumber I had the other day, the last video? Well, we haven't gotten to it yet, and while it's kind of looking a little bit more, less like a cucumber. I don't know if I said tomato. But it's looking a little less like a cucumber. It's yellow now, so the question is it still good? Holding it by this angle, I'm looking at the camera now, and this does not look right. That's a cucumber, I swear. We have another cucumber in here. Pickling, national pickling. Another national pickling. It's all bumpy. Large cherry. More large cherries. Okay, so that's it for the big tomatoes. Now, if you see me using a paper towel in the pan, the reason why is in case the tomatoes are like a little wet or something, it will get absorbed by the paper towels and it won't be such a mess. So put my cherries, put my super sweet 100s off to the side. Come over here, put my yellows, such. Put my whites over here. I got a lot of large cherry, and I get my two oblong weird ones. Don't know what they are. Going to save the seeds for them, and I'm just going to call them the oblong tomato. No idea. I'd have to go back through all my seeds and see if I have any weird looking tomatoes that look like a pepper. But I think I would have remembered that, but who knows. I have thousands and thousands of tomato seeds. Different varieties, because why not? Okay, it's going to be a lot easier if I just dump it out. Oh. Tomatoes, don't run away. Another large cherry, some more white guys. Got a squished tomato here. Got squished in it by a cucumber. Still good. Ah! I cracked it open, so I'll put it over here. I can only put so much in my mouth at one time. We got more super sweet 100s, more cherries. Got a white tomato, a yellow plum, a large cherry, a cucumber, another cucumber, another cucumber, guess what? Another cucumber. Hey, guess what? Another cucumber. I got scared by dirt. I thought it was a spider. Nobody saw that. All right. Getting nutty over here. All right. There's another white tomato, yellow plum, yellow plum, yellow plum, yellow plum, yellow plum, yellow pear. Pear. The white tomato with a split in it. That'll go first. Two red cherries with a split. They're gonna have to go first. I saw one down here. Just now there's a split. That's got to go first. That's got to go first. They're the first that are going to rot in your tray. So it's always good to get rid of those first, just because you don't want them rotting in your tray. Like here's another large cherry that's got a split in it. That's got to go. Large cherry, large cherry, large cherry with a split. Yellow plum, plum and plum, 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 plum. Two more yellow plums. Actually one was a pear, the other one was a plum. This is a plum. This is also a plum, but it's not fully ripened yet. A bunch more white tomatoes. One's trying to run away. Get on the tray. And then we have a bunch of cherries. Look at my cherries. He's holding his cherries in his hand. And another split one that's got to go into the eating for tonight. So this right here, as you can tell, this is all just today alone. All these tomatoes in here, these cucumbers that are sitting here, these tomatoes that are here, and these ones, these small ones here. This is what's left over from the batch. Now remember I had showed you the rainbow tomato? Well, once it's ready to eat, it gets pink on the bottom. But on the inside, being it's going into Halloween, that's the perfect tomato for Halloween. You slice into it, it's multicolored, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. It is the jackal tomatoes. Anyway, guys, this is Mike over here at Growtopia. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. Get out there and grow something. Stay tuned. Mike, start growing tomatoes next year. Mother Nature is. This is Mike, and it's out. Later. I'm going to eat some tomatoes and drink some water. Later.